Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. Antonio Cromartie joins today's show to talk about his NFL future and whether the Cowboys could factor in. Plus, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade struggled in their first game since reuniting. Should they be concerned? And how big of a deal is Tom Brady's injured shoulder? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. LeBron James made his preseason debut in last night's loss to the Bulls after missing 2 weeks with a sprained left ankle. He finished with a team high 17 points but committed 8 turnovers. His new teammate, Dwayne Wade, also struggled, finishing with 4 points. After the game, LeBron talked about coming back from the injury. Let's take a listen.
Just my first action since the finals, so my time was a little off, and the turnovers I think kind of just trickled down to everybody, so it made everyone's timing off. I told you it wasn't 100% the other day.
So when
you remember when I said that? No.
When you made that spin move, though, was that?
Yeah, you asked me if it was a regular season game, could I have played? I told you no. It's not 100%. Obviously, tonight and tomorrow morning is going to be the telltale sign of how I came out tonight. I'm still fresh from the game, so it's okay now. But you never know when you when you wake up the next morning how it can flare up or if it can stiffen up. So, I know more about it tomorrow, but I definitely wanted to test it tonight, knowing that at least if I test it tonight, I have a week until the regular season starts if I didn't play in the game on Friday.
Skip, what was your takeaway from last night?
I love LeBron James. Yeah, I missed him. We needed him so badly here on Undisputed. Shannon.
What?
Your man was at it again last night.
What did he do now?
Drama King James was in mid-season form. This is why LeBron James is by far the most entertaining player in all of sports, on and off the floor, for the right reason sometimes and for, in this case, the wrong reason. I realize it was just a preseason game, but the Cavs played it unlike most preseason games because obviously LeBron has had a bum ankle. So he says, I buy that.
What you say, so he says, you don't buy it then?
Well, I'm about to get into what I'm not buying from last night. So because he has not been able to play, the Cavs chose to play their second-to-last preseason game the way NFL teams play their second-to-last preseason game, as a dress rehearsal. They put a lot of weight into what was going on last night because the starters played 3 quarters. And I did watch the whole thing from start to finish, so I'm not just speaking out of school here. I think I have a pretty good feel for what happened. And LeBron had a rough night in those 3 quarters, trying to play with his new group of starters, his buddy Dwayne. And in the first half alone, LeBron had 7 turnovers. And just for some perspective, if this had been a game that counted, the all-time single game record for turnovers in a regular season game is Jason Kidd with 14. So LeBron would have been in a real game halfway to 14 just in the first half. He tacked on 1 for good measure in the third quarter, so he wound up with 8 turnovers. And for the game, LeBron wound up in 30 minutes in plus-minus. He was minus 18. Not very good. But, by the way, Kevin Love, starting now at center, I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Kevin Love was actually in only 21 minutes because he tweaked his knee, hit up against somebody else's knee and had to sit out. But in just 21 minutes, he was minus 21 as he shot 1 for 12. So everybody's out of sync, including the new guy. Dwayne Wade shot 1 for 7, and he was like LeBron, minus 18. And the Cavs at home in their dress rehearsal preseason game got blown off their own floor by what's left of the Chicago Bulls. And, of course, the immortal Justin Holiday. He looked like Michael Jordan last night as he went for 28 and 11. So what happens after the game? LeBron reminds the media that, you remember what I told you? If this had been a real game, I would not have played. Wait a minute. What? So LeBron, because he is the best player on the planet, says
Yes, you acknowledge
he needed an excuse for this horrendous night that he and the whole group of starters had. So he had to remind everybody, if this had been a real game, I would not have played. What? I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. So you're saying your ankle is still so bad that if the game had counted, you wouldn't have played, but because you haven't played with this group of starters, you got to go ahead and risk aggravating it or really hurting it much worse in a preseason game with the regular season looming next
a week from last night.
Yeah, a week from last night. by the way, this guy named, what's that guy's name? Kyrie. I don't know. He's out of sight, out of mind. He went to Boston. He has to go home, right? He's coming home to Cleveland to play on opening night. But the point is, you're telling me that you risk hurting your ankle worse, and now you got to wake up tomorrow to see how much worse it might be just to play in a preseason game? When I watch my guy Lonzo Ball with the Lakers, he ripped his ankle the other night, and the Lakers just said, we shut you down. We just hope you'll be ready to go for the start of the regular season. So am I supposed to think that LeBron James played last night on a really bad ankle that he wouldn't have played on when he's the Iron Man in the regular season, when he led the NBA in minutes last year, and he wouldn't have played on that ankle in a regular? Baloney! Yeah. I'm not buying it. You just got to reach back for a pregame excuse. Remember, I told you I wouldn't have played. Really?
We're preparing you when we take about 12 to 15 games off this year.
Aha.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
get
what
prepared.
it is.
Yeah, we're preparing you for that.
So the ankle is so bad it could be really bad when LeBron wakes up this morning. Am I supposed to buy that?
Yeah, it might be.
Is he at risk now of not being able to play against Kyrie? Should I start to think that he might want to duck Kyrie? Does he need an excuse not to play against Kyrie?
In the words of Austin Powers, it might be something that lingers.
Oh.
Lingers.
Yeah. That was actually Dr. Evil.
Yeah, I like
that. Right. Okay.
It was Austin Powers, but evil, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to linger.
Yeah.
So why you mad? Skip, the man's ankle's hurt. You like, okay, he says his ankle hurt. Okay, I'll give him that. Hold on, you're saying
Have you ever heard of this?
Yes!
That a player, in the history of basketball, no player has ever said, I played tonight on an ankle in a preseason game on which I would not have played a real game.
Yeah.
Really?
Skip, okay. He's going to have a lot of different moving pieces. Kevin Love is going to the 5 spot. It was announced Kevin Love didn't know he was going to the 5 spot until LeBron James told him in a practice.
Oh, wait a second. I'm glad you brought that up.
Go ahead.
So does that prove once again that LeBron is the head coach of this team? He's also the GM of this team. He runs this show. And so it was LeBron who informed Kevin Love, you're the 5. You're starting at center. Yeah. Really? You buying that? You like that?
I love it.
Oh, this is exactly why. All of the above is exactly why Kyrie Irving finally said, I can't take it anymore. I'm out.
This
is craziness.
This
is insane. This is chaos created by the drama king night after night after night.
And this is also the reason that Kyrie Irving will not be going to any more NBA finals.
Oh, really?
Yes. He will not be getting any more rings.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. Skip, the man has a bum ankle. Okay, has Derrick Rose, who's going to be playing the point guard until Isaiah Thomas comes back. He has Jay Crowder, who's going to be the power forward, someone he's never played with, and they don't have any time. So you just want them to just go out there and just throw all this stuff together.
No, I want the best player on the planet to be completely healthy for game number 1 that actually does count.
Well, he will be. That's a week from last night. He has 7 days to rest and rehab that ankle. He will be ready. Second of all, he hasn't played with D. Wade in 3 years. This is a different D. Wade. This is a different LeBron James.
Oh, I think that's like riding a bicycle. I think you'll be okay there.
Yeah, but when you're used to riding a unicycle, a bicycle can cause you problems.
Oh, okay.
Now, with that being said, you worry about the old dilapidated, beat-up Spurs.
Yeah.
You let me and LeBron worry about the Cavs and how we set this roster. Because what we got going.
By the way, who's older, Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James? Help me out.
Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker.
Dilapidated.
Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker.
Is the best two-way player in basketball dilapidated and old?
All I know.
He's just a baby compared to LeBron in his 15th year.
Yeah. When is he going back to the finals?
Huh?
When is that baby going back to the finals?
Maybe this year.
Maybe not.
Maybe this year. Maybe he would have been last year if he hadn't gotten hurt by Zaza Pachulia shot.
Skip, you need to stop. I don't know why every time LeBron James says something, you try to
I'm not dissecting it.
Yes,
it's just people just let it go.
Yeah, you
they
should.
Just sweep it under the carpet. He gets pass after pass. He was throwing some bad passes, but he got thrown a great pass after the game by you and by the media. Nobody's going to pick up on this.
He looks like a guy that has not played competitive, organized basketball since the finals. He alluded to that. Watching him, I felt real comfortable saying, yeah, he hasn't played in a while. He'll go the whole season. He won't have 8 turnovers. You know that. I know that.
I don't know that because he's a high turnover guy. He had some of those last year where you'd say, wow, what happened,
he also
LeBron?
had some games where he had like 14, 15 assists.
He's got potential, and he might have to have them when
Skip
he doesn't
Bayless,
have
if you
them.
say anything about LeBron James' potential, you're going to upset me. There is no potential. He's fulfilled his potential.
Help me out. Who calls him the best passer in basketball? Who's called him that regularly?
The general managers agreed with you.
I called him that. I think I said it before anybody said it.
And what did
Until now, Alonso's.
And what about the general managers? They said that too when they had this poll and they listed all these categories. He was number one.
And all of a sudden you say, oh, maybe he is.
He had a bum ankle. Stop doing that, Skip.
I don't think it's. I think it's 100% healed, or he would not have.
Hold on,
that.
hold on. You just said that you believed it when you said it.
I believed he heard it before. I believe he tweaked it.
Okay.
But if he played last night, trust me, it was okay.
Yeah.
Does he have some lingering soreness like you always do when you really rip your ankle?
It might be.
Yeah.
Now, listen. Now, if you want us to play in a lot of these arenas, I tell you what we might do. If you keep on talking, I'm telling you, I'm not going to Boston. Because y'all know y'all waiting for me to come to Boston and y'all going to play it up. So if you want me to play on my trip back to Boston, I suggest, Skip Bayless, you start talking a little nicer to me.
You're threatening a boycott of Boston?
Yes!
Wait, and you are like, it's like Colonel Parker to Elvis, remember that? You're like the Colonel Parker to LeBron?
Because I had to try to prove a point to you that my ankle is really hurt. And what I was trying to do, although my ankle is hurt, and if it was a regular season game, I wouldn't be playing, I need to work on some chemistry. I don't
buy that. LeBron plays every game. I always call him Iron Man. He would have played last night if it had been a regular season game.
Who's the game against?
He played
Who is the game against?
Anybody. I just looked down their schedule, and it's got cupcakes galore.
Oh,
man,
Lord.
it's just Eastern. Like, you open up with Boston, okay, so that's pretty tough. But then, you know, you get Orlando, you get Brooklyn, you get Chicago, you get New York. That's just in the first 7 games. Those are just like gimme, 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 layup, 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 layup.
That's
the Eastern Conference.
Okay, so what would you have him do? Do you want the Eastern? How about this?
You know what I'd have him do? If his ankle was that bad and I were the GM of that team, and obviously LeBron is his own GM.
Yeah.
I would say, LeBron, it is not worth it. You guys will figure it out.
You don't get to determine
everybody in the starting lineup has played a whole lot of NBA basketball. It's not like Lonzo's bunch where everybody's young and inexperienced.
But they have
Lonzo's the guy who needed reps.
They have not played a lot of NBA minutes together.
But
and
come
that's
on.
what LeBron
you don't
is
think
trying.
You can figure that
No.
out? How many minutes have LeBron and Dwayne Wade played together? Help me out, Joe.
How long ago has that been? How long ago?
Thousands.
Skip, that's been so long ago.
So long ago?
Do you know what 3 years does to a person? Do you know what that does to a body?
I mean,
D. Wade is not that guy.
Defending Wade starting yesterday?
I don't have a problem, but you still have to work on that. I mean, when I went back, I went back to Denver after. Okay, let me put it in this context. I went back to Denver after 2 years of being in Baltimore. The plays came relatively easy.
Yep.
But now I'm playing with guys that are around me that I'm not used to playing with, and how they like things and how they want things and what I need to do in this offense as opposed to when I left, because I'm a different player returning. The offense is somewhat different. They view me differently. So all that has to factor in. D. Wade has to understand he's not the second best player on the team as he was in Miami. That was 3 years ago. This is a long, long time, Skip. They needed time together. Okay, they got some time. They look rusty. D. Wade had a high turnover. Kevin Love didn't shoot the ball well. Nobody shot the ball well. But they did get some continuity. They did get some on-court experience together in an actual game. So moving forward, I don't see a problem with this.
Well, is his ankle going to be so bad he can't play against Boston?
Maybe.
Well, that's what he said. He said, I got to wake up and see how bad it is.
Wake up in the
So
moment.
you just gave up your ankle to play one preseason game. Really? And you're defending that?
It's 7. There's nothing to defend. I'm defending why he did it, because he wanted to get on-court experience or playing time with his new teammates. D. Rose, he's never played with D. Rose except in an All-Star game. He's never played with Jay Crowder. Kevin Love is not in the 5 spot. There's a lot of different moving pieces. Tristan Thompson, JR are now coming off the bench. You got to get that organized and situated. So there's a lot of things that they needed to cover, and they have a short time to cover it in.
By the way, speaking of D. Rose, the assistant coach Ty Lue spoke to ESPN between.
Head coach.
No, he's assistant coach, right?
I saw what you did there.
I
too.
didn't do anything.
You
I just called it like it is. LeBron calls it that way because he told Kevin Love, "You're starting at the 5."
Larry Drew is the assistant coach.
Well, then they got a bunch of assistant.
No,
coaches.
they don't. They got a head coach and an assistant coach.
But the assistant coach Ty Lue told ESPN in between quarters that he's been very impressed with how Derrick Rose can pass the basketball. Well, I get that. And Derrick Rose had the best stat line last night because he made 5 out of 9 shots. He did make a 3. He had 5 assists. But to my eye, he still doesn't look right. It's not Derrick Rose anymore. He's so beat up. He's herky-jerky now. I don't see the explosion. I'm sorry. I don't see that guy, that MVP.
He's never going to be that again. The knees and ankles have robbed him of a lot of his athletic ability. He's never going to be that.
Couldn't you say that about Dwayne also at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
But
so there's 2/5 of your starting lineup right there.
But here's
LeBron in his 15th year.
LeBron gonna be LeBron.
Yeah.
25, 10, and 7.
And Kevin Love's always got something going on. He banged knees last night on a free throw, and he hobbled off. But they said he's going to be okay. Assistant Coach Lue said after the game he's going to be okay.
Derrick Rose will never be the player we saw in the MVP season.
Yeah.
That's okay. We don't need him to be that because he can't be that and have LeBron be LeBron. D-Wade can't be D-Wade of 5 years ago and be in Cleveland. That's too many guys. Somebody's going to have to defer. But what they can give us, Isaiah Thomas is going to come back. He's not getting 30, though.
When?
I mean,
next
sometime,
year?
No, probably a little bit before or after the All-Star game.
Oh.
We'll hold the fort down till
A
then.
little bit before or after?
Yeah, we'll hold the fort down till. Hold on. You do
Okay.
know we're in the East, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the East.
I got it.
Okay, so we'll hold the fort down till he gets back.
Coming off the bench, Richard Jefferson, who's like 45.
Still got bunnies.
Does he?
Oh, ask
Really?
Kevin. Remember he poked on Kevin Durant
He
on
did?
Christmas Day?
No, he did. He played well in the finals. He played the best of any Cav in the finals, to me, from what I saw.
Well, you don't see very well.
You got Jeff Green, who's
Jeff Green been
42. Is he 42?
Jeff Green been giving it to folk too.
I know.
Has he been giving it to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
So coming off the bench.
And then
now
coming
we
off
got
the bench,
depth.
J.R. Smith.
Yep,
and
Swift.
Double T.
Yep.
Tristan Thompson coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
Gonna
See,
stay
I
happy?
know what you're trying to do.
I'm just asking. I'm asking questions. You are the authority on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I gotta know.
What you're trying to do is that you're trying to create drama. And I know
There's drama. I don't need to create it. It's all over that
I know
team.
he's dating a Kardashian, but you're not going to create any drama with the Cavaliers. This is what his role is.
Wonder if Tristan's better
I
half.
don't care.
What about his better half whispering in his ear after games? Why are you coming off the bench?
See, you trying to start. I know what you're doing.
Honey, why are you coming off the bench?
Tristan,
aren't
Double
you
T
a
doesn't
starter?
do any pillow talk.
No?
Whatever happens at practice stays at practice.
Oh.
What happens at home stays at home. We don't do pillow talking.
I know, but it gets in your psyche and
It don't get in nobody's
out.
No, what it does do is that Skip, they play this clip, and Skip Bayless talking about, is he happy? Is JR happy? What about his better half? Is she happy? Is she whispering in his ear? What, you coming off the bench? Why would you come off the bench?
Why would you come off the bench, Tristan?
Because that was what is asked of you.
Oh.
And we do things
By
in
the head coach,
Yes.
LeBron James, right?
No. What we do in
Am I
Cleveland
right?
is that we try to do what's in the best interest of the
Yeah.
team. Our goal is to get out of the East and do what we should have done last year.
If the East is so easy, it's such a cakewalk, it's the all-time cakewalk, then LeBron last night should have said, you know what, I got to let my ankle completely heal.
No.
I think it is completely healed. Then he needed a post-game excuse.
We need timing. Hold on. You didn't say that when Tom Brady got blown out. Now, he's been playing with all those guys forever. Oh, he needs timing. Now, all of a sudden, Tom Brady needs timing, but LeBron James doesn't?
Timing?
Yeah.
Tom works on timing in the offseason when most teams work on it except for Odell Beckham, who says,
That ain't
I
what
got to
you-
go to
that
Europe
ain't what
with
you- that ain't
Drake,
what you
right?
said. That ain't what you said.
Huh?
You said he needed time. You said he was off a little bit with
I
Brandon
didn't
Cook.
say that.
Yeah, the first game when
I did
they
not.
got blown out.
I did not say that because Tom actually works hard at his craft in the offseason.
Hold on. Are you trying to say LeBron James does not work
I think
hard?
he works hard on his body. His body looked good last night.
Did you see him in that pickup game? Flying to New York to get that game in with KD and Melo, all up in L.A., and playing at UCLA, getting games in?
Are those his new teammates now?
Skip,
No.
don't do that.
Why didn't he call a little OTA
He
in
played
the Bahamas.
with he played with Kev. Kev was out here in UCLA.
Oh,
They were giving folk the bit. Look here, we're very frugal with our money.
Yeah.
We're not getting on no G6, going to Hawaii or no Bahamas. We're not doing that. We'll fly to New York, we'll fly to LA, but we're not spending those 6 hours on those G6, okay? So get that thought out your head.
Yep.
But what we will do on a Tuesday night, we will play when we're, lingering ankle problems. We don't want those. Get some timing in. We're going to be okay. You worry about the Spurs. You worry about the Celtics.
You're going to be worried about the Spurs pretty soon.
No, I'm
they're
not
going to
worried
be
about
really
Golden
good.
Well, they have one last preseason game on Friday in Orlando.
We ain't playing.
And then they host the Celtics.
We're not playing.
No mercy.
Our next guest is a four-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro cornerback during his 11-year NFL career, Antonio Cromartie. Welcome back to Undisputed.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
Good to have you. So you're currently a free agent.
Yes.
Do you still want to play in the NFL?
Of course I want to play. I'm not out here training since October, last October. So I've been training for the past year. So I feel like I'm in great shape. And I'm just ready to go play.
Have you heard from any teams lately?
I have. I actually worked out for a team. I worked out for the Saints back in August. I had a workout there. It's kind of overweight, but I was 216 pounds. I usually play at 210, which I'm at right about now, about 211 right now. So
Is that still a possibility?
it's still
New
a
Orleans?
possibility. Still a possibility.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Well, I got to ask the key question. Have you heard from my Dallas Cowboys, who are in desperate need of a veteran cornerback presence?
No, I haven't heard from the Dallas Cowboys
No?
at all.
Really?
No, not at all.
Do you expect to? Any grapevine word about it?
Honestly, no, I don't. I think their biggest decision is they want to stay young. I don't think they want to bring in veteran guys.
Well, they're so young, they're just bad young right now.
You got to give the young kids an opportunity. I think that's the biggest. I think when I first came in 2006 with Marty Schottenheimer as my coach, he gave me an opportunity. I didn't fare well, but he put me into the office and said, look, we're gonna make you. You're only gonna play nickel packages. And that's the thing. Like I say, I always tell people that's the one thing I respect about Marty Schottenheimer. He gave me an opportunity to go out and go play. And he didn't like the way I was playing, so he told me as a man, look, hey, you got to play better. We want to play nickel packages, go from there. But, I think Jordan Lewis is doing great. I mean, you can't defend that ball. That's one ball you cannot defend.
Well, especially when you're 5'10" and he's 6'2".
Listen, okay, but you can't say that because Brent Grimes 5'8", 5'9", and he goes out and covers 6'5".
Special, man. I mean,
But I think Jordan Lewis will be special, too. I think he'll do his thing.
How
He's
tall
not
are
against Aaron Rodgers. He ain't gonna be special.
How tall are you? 6'1"?
6'2.5".
6'2.5". So what was I thinking on Sunday night? If Antonio Cromartie had been my corner over there on that play, I don't think Devontae at 6'2" rises up over you and snatches that
Well, first
ball.
off, I would have pressed Bell. I'm not going to press him. If I know I'm a rookie corner, I would have came back. Studying film, that's one of the Devontae Adams' favorite routes, the fade route down the red zone. So I pressed the first time, made a great play. Second time,
he made a play the first time.
Second time, I'm going to show him something different. I'm not going to give him the same thing. If you notice on the second one, he didn't get his hands on him. The first one, he got his hands on him, knocked him out, and was able to be there. Second one, he didn't. So it's just about being consistent. That's all it's about. I mean, he wasn't consistent with getting his hands on the receiver, so he wasn't able to defend that ball. The ball was thrown. He jumped late. Devontae Adams already had the ball, so you can't defend that.
Well, like you said, I mean, you're making jokes about it, but he never even saw the ball.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
Listen, I've had one of those routes in 2011 with Tony Romo and Dez Bryant, where I got my hands on him, and before I knew it, the ball was already in his hands. And I'm like, okay, where's the ball?
And sometimes you can have perfect coverage, but if they make the perfect throw, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it's like baseball. He's a hot hitter, but if the pitcher throws his pitch where he wants it, locates it at the speed he wants, you're not going to hit it. And that's what Aaron Rodgers and those receivers, they practice that so much. Skip, we only practice we practice red zone, but they practice so much red zone, just individual stuff now.
Yeah.
It's almost like a drill in and of itself. Like teams practice 7-on-7, teams practice 9-on-7. They will practice just these throws. The back shoulder fade, only a few teams ran it back when I was in the game. That was many years ago. Now everybody's running that because you have to defend it. Okay, how do I defend it? If I stay on top, he's going to back shoulder me. If he lags behind, he's going to throw it over the top of me. And still I got to worry about the slant route. So there's so much you got to worry about. And like Antonio says, you can't give Aaron Rodgers and his receivers the same look. Because that's why they came back with it, because they knew he was going to press him the exact same way. And if I get off clean, this is what's going to happen.
The other problem my team has is there's no veteran presence at safety. And there is a guy that you know pretty well still sitting out there on the market named Darrelle Revis. Revis Island is on his own island somewhere outside the NFL. I can't believe he's not with anybody. Are you surprised?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised about myself too. I mean, I think Revis is 32. I'm 33 years old. Still can play at a very high level. Maybe not as when we're 22, 23 years old, but we bring knowledge to the game. Not only knowledge, but you can pass that knowledge on to the younger guys to help those guys understand how to watch film, how to play certain routes, look at formations and study that. I mean, it's just the point, like, us as peers, like, being in that room can be something greater than having a coach in the room. Because players listen to their peers more than they listen to their coaches. So you have another coach that's on the field, and you also have another coach that's in the locker room to help the guys, mold guys. And if it's a one-year thing, it's a one-year thing. But now you get those guys that following year to be exceptional players and actually learn the game and know the game and go out and go play at a very high level.
So when you say study film, study formation, were you a formation guy, or you were a formation as far as like 3 wide trips, or did you pattern read?
I did all 3. Because you got to think, when me and Reeves was together, we had receivers we had to cover.
Right.
So when we covered a receiver for the week, okay, this receiver lines outside the hash. The only thing he's run, a yard outside the numbers. The only thing he's run is a dig route, bang gate from this route. If he lines a yard inside the numbers, okay, he's running a curl, he's running a speed out, and he's running a deep comeback on the bootleg. Now, if we're not covering it, now we're playing left and right, we go into formations. Okay, if you want to run twin pair slot, okay, we know exactly what you're going to do. Right. You're going to have the down tight end blocking, the other one's going to run a crossing route. You're going to have another crossing route coming to us with a deep post coming behind. So it's just little stuff like that, understanding the offenses and knowing where to go. You know where third down is going to be. You're playing against, you break it down to a standpoint of understanding who you're going to be or where the players are going to be. Offenses don't change much. The coordinators don't change. So if they go to another team, if you got a book on them, you keep that same book because it's not going to change.
Tell Skip how you would defend Dez.
How I defend Dez? I'll take all the inside routes away. I play him inside out because you're not gonna beat me deep. That's the one thing. You're not gonna beat me. So now you got to run crossing routes. You got to run digs, which is some of his favorite routes. Do they run the deep ball? They run the back shoulder fade out in the field? Yes. I want you to run that route because now I'm only going to do it just back shoulder fade and play into it. So it's just a point of understanding like who your players and what they do best.
Yeah, the problem with Dez, though, he hasn't just lost a step. I think he's lost 2 steps. I just don't see anything
I don't think
sudden.
so. I think what Dez is doing, he's playing into the system. You can't say a guy lost a step because he doesn't have the same numbers as he had the year before, the year after that. I think what it is guys are understanding like, look, okay, we're going to double Dez if we're going to put our best corner on Dez. Sometimes he's going to get a shot, sometimes not. I mean, you got to think, some of the balls that was thrown to him wasn't always great balls. Some of the balls he should have caught, some of them wasn't that great. It happens. But I believe as the season goes on, everyone's going to see that Dez is still the same player.
I hope so.
But what we're seeing, Crow, is that when he goes up against those other boy dogs, Janoris Jenkins, Harris Jr. Talib, Pat Peterson, we don't see Tremaine Johnson. Mm-hmm. We don't see the Dez that we saw in 2014 when he commanded that big contract. See, when I look at Dez, I look at a guy that's not a technical runner. You don't see Dez run speed outs. No. You see Dez, now he will run the slant if you open up. But when I look at him, I don't see him running comebacks on the sideline. I don't see him running speed outs. He don't really run the bang eight. He's an in-cut guy. He's a slant guy. He's a back shoulder fade guy in the red zone. He's a big body guy, but he's not technically sound. So it makes him very easy to cover because you're like, I ain't even worried about that. I know you're not running speed eight. I know you're not running comeback, and you can't beat me deep. So back shoulder fade, slant, in-cut. Okay, well, now what?
Okay, but you got to think, the guys that you name, what did they do best at the line?
They press, put hands on.
And put hands on.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the receiving core, even when we played against when I was in Arizona, if you get your hands on the receiver, it's hard for them to get the timing and what they need on the field. So if I'm a D coordinator, I'm going to tell my guys to press, stay patient. You know the routes that he's going to run. Right. That's it. Learn the formations. If you learn the formation, you know exactly what Dez is going to run at a certain spot in a certain amount in time of the game. It doesn't change. The coordinators are not going to change what they do just because you go into another different week.
No mercy. Tom Brady missed practice yesterday with a sprain in his non-throwing shoulder. He reportedly injured the shoulder 10 days ago against the Panthers and then re-aggravated it Thursday night against the Bucs. Brady is still expected to play on Sunday against the Jets. Shannon, how concerned should the Patriots be?
They should be very concerned. And Skip, I've played with banged up shoulders. One's partially separated both of my shoulders. But let me just take it from a perspective of having one shoulder injured, and it's the non-throwing shoulder of Tom Brady's. What you do when you're injured and it's an upper extremity, you try to do everything you can not to land, not to land on that body part. But in the process of doing that, Tom Brady is a right-handed quarterback. So if he tries not to land on the injured shoulder, he's going to probably do more damage by landing on his throwing shoulder.
Yep.
So what do? They're not able to protect him like they did last year. He's gotten sacked more in 5 games than he did in 12 games last year. He's been hit the 4th most in the NFL as far as quarterbacks. Last year, he was 26th. So you see, and when you're 25, 30, you're fine. But accumulation, you start getting 38, you start getting 40. Skip, 40-year-old bodies was not made to withstand this type of punishment. This is why we don't see guys normally play well into their 40s, because the body just can't recover. You only have so many hits in it. Tom Brady's had his fair share. Teams they're gonna start dialing up the pressure. For me, Skip, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be willing to give up a big play to put Tom Brady on the ground. I want Tom Brady to pick himself up as many times as he possibly can. I want Tom Brady to climb out from under a body as many times as possible.
But no bounties, right?
No, hey, he got a hurt left shoulder. Tom Brady has a hurt left shoulder. Let's see how many times we can put him on it today.
But you're not going to offer bonuses for hits on the left shoulder?
I mean, you can, if you want to be MVP, you want to park closer to the building. I mean, there are a couple of things that I can do to incentivize it. No bounties, but you will be allowed to park up close.
I am with you on to the extent this is discussed before games.
Yeah.
I want hits on that shoulder. I want him knocked down. I want to go after him more than we have in the past.
Yes.
Because when we talked before the year about Brady saying, I want to play to whatever it was,
45,
I think
46.
maybe that's what Kraft said that
Yeah.
he said, that he
said
said
7, yeah.
And I told you, in Brady, I trust. If he says 45, I'll book 45. But I did not see this coming, where he was only sacked 15 times last year. You can do that. You can play on 42, 43. That's good. You're good to go.
Sack and a half, that's about, what, sack, a little under sack and a half a game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
He's already been hit 32 times in 5 games. And but when it's scored as a hit, it means you got hit.
Right.
Not just a brush off.
Right.
You got tagged
Right.
32 times
Right.
in 5 games. And I look at what's breaking down. The offensive line's starting to look like 2015 when they wound up in Denver. Remember when they blew the Jets game at the end of the year, and then they went to Miami and just got rocked. Remember that? It was just a wipeout, and Brady got rocked in that game. And they kind of muddled through and get to the AFC Championship game, and it was close, and he's throwing into the end zone to win the game. But did he not take a battering
He did.
that game?
He did.
Woo, from Von Miller and company. And they went back and got Dante Scarnecchia, their old line coach, out of retirement. And it got fixed last year, and it's unfixed right now. And they got Dwayne Allen that they picked up in free agency. He's not holding his own as a blocker.
Gronk can't stay healthy. Amendola get nicked.
Yeah.
Skip. Now we know why Coach Belichick didn't trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Now you and I, and we were talking about, you and I have been on this, like Skip, I don't see any other quarterback starting for the Patriots other than Garoppolo in 2018.
I'm with you on that, but have we seen Tom Brady play at the highest level?
Yeah, he's played.
When he's right,
But I don't know how many more of those hits he can take.
Well, I'm
They're
with
going to start dialing up the pressure.
So to continue with all the reasons, you bring in Gillislee, and his blitz pickup is hit and miss.
Yes.
And when he misses, he gets hit.
Yes.
And he gets hit hard.
He's a small guy. He's not a big guy. At least Blunt, 250,
He was
can drop
250.
his hip, and you have to go through him.
Yep.
Gillislee, they're going to sit him in Tom Brady's lap.
Yep.
If he's able to get hands on him, most of the time they're going to just swim past him and go right to Tom.
Then the other thing I'm seeing is they fall behind because the defense has been the leakiest defense. Speaking of leaky line, they got a leakier defense.
Yeah.
And now they've thrown so far 195 passes to only 128 runs. Harm's way.
Yeah.
But why? Because you're behind and you got to throw, which leads Tom Brady, who competes as hard as anybody I've ever seen compete. he's trying to play hero too much. So we saw plays against Tampa when he took off running. There was a 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line, and he had Amendola for a second, it looked like, but he's going to play hero. I can run this in the end zone, and he took a shot. And then could we see that play? This was Romo-esque to me against Tampa when he took off running, and he got folded over. You want to talk about harm's way? That is dangerous. Where you get remember Romo at Seattle?
And then you got two bodies on top. Look at this, Skip.
Oh, God, that's back city.
That's 500 pounds.
Don't have your back.
Yeah.
Because, they've got your back, right? Well, I thought he wasn't going to get up from that, and I'm sure he was a sore young man, sore 40-year-old young man after that play. But the point is, he's trying to do too much because they're just trying to survive. And at this pace, I hate to say it, I got to knock on wood, but you are risking really getting hurt at some point. He's just taking too many shots. Blindside blitz shots when he got stripped.
You know, Skip, we used to get, we got graded, and, you know, I could block the guy or I could put the guy on the ground. Now, I could do my job in TD, get there through there if I stayed up, but I got a plus if I cut him, put him on the ground. Because here's the thing, why he's chasing in the first and third quarters, after I've cut him 3, 4, 5 times, come fourth quarter, guess what? That 5-yard run that TD got, and all of a sudden it's 25. And see, Tom Brady, okay, he's standing in there, he's taking it. Let's see if he's still willing to take these blows come fourth quarter. Because I want him getting up. Hey, you get to him, you fall on it. Hey, bro, you fall on top of him. Let him pull himself up under 600 pounds, 500 pounds.
Time out. I have been told by others who have visited our desk here who played alongside you that you were kind of opposed to blocking? Like you were allergic?
Ass stink.
Didn't you have an allergic reaction to blocking?
But here's my thing, Skip. They told me earlier, hey, 84, we're going to need you at the point of attack 2 or 3 times. Okay, I got my mind right, Skip. I got my, knuckle you to do me a couple of push-ups before I go out there, let the tricep, the guns be showing. But most of the time, I was backside. But here's the thing. We're a cut-back run team. So I had to be where I needed to be. Cut him low, cut him low.
Didn't see you coming.
And he saw that right there, Skip. Hey, stay up, man. You got all the muscle.
Borderline cheap shots?
It was legal.
Oh.
I mean, back then.
It was?
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, past tense.
Woo.
So here we came out of offseason. This is what the lesson learned here is, I kept saying throughout the offseason that New England won the Super Bowl and then won the offseason. Because they did.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And now what happened? Which is why, if we fast forward into this upcoming NBA season, Golden State, most prohibitive favorite ever, look out. You never know.
Injuries changes that.
Things happen.
But injuries change the dynamics, Skip. I mean, this is a different team without Edelman.
Okay, so that's, you just hit on it. When you take Julian Edelman's little option routes underneath away from Tom Brady, how many times could he take a short drop, a three-step drop, and just bing, bing, bing?
But guess what now? Now that's three-step drop is, and now, boom, that's all
That's what Rex Ryan, when he was the Jets coach, if we can get him to do that one time, we're good.
Take the first, if we can take the first option away, and that's what D coordinator, take his first option away. Okay, edge rushers, Von Millers and Khalil Max and Houston's, now you got to get there. And that's what they're doing. Because you can't count on Gronk. I mean, Gronk now he's a week-to-week guy, Skip. He is a phenomenal talent. 6'7", 280, can run, big, strong, physical, but he's a week-to-week guy. You can't say, okay, it's hard for you to go in and build a game plan around him, Skip, and that was the thing that I had to learn. Mike would tell me, he'd say, Shannon, how can I build a game plan around you when you're out at the half or you're out somewhere in the third quarter? I need you to play the whole game. How do you build a game plan around Gronk, Skip, when you don't know if you're going to really have him? Forget the entire game, even for the half of the game.
Yep. So what is Tom Brady hearing when he arrives home each night, especially on Sunday nights?
Baby, you sure you want to do this?
What are you doing this to yourself for? Kids are saying, Daddy, why are you doing this? Why this is terrible. Don't do this. And Giselle's saying, we don't really need the money, do we? I think we're okay.
And what's the baby girl? What's the daughter name? I mean, he can't pick up with the left. He like, get on this side, baby.
Shoulders, you can't sleep on your shoulder. You got to sleep sitting up and. Yeah. Well,
But he loves to play, and he's going to. And I thought he was beating the system, like keeping Father Time at arm's length, because with his stretching and elongating his muscles and his nutrition. And
When you stretch, Skip, you ain't got 600 pounds on your back.
no, no.
true.
Now
Well,
he
maybe
does.
they'll get a little break this week. Jets are ranked 31st in sacks, so we'll see.
No mercy.
The 4-1 Panthers are 3-point favorites at home against the 4-1 Eagles tomorrow night. Cam Newton threw 3 touchdown passes in the Panthers' win last week, while Carson Wentz threw 4 touchdown passes in the Eagles' win. We're joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Welcome,
morning.
Eric. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
But Skip, are you surprised that the Panthers are favored by 3?
Game of the week. Here we go.
You hoping. I know what you hoping.
I always guess the point spread before I look at it. And in my head, I was thinking, home team Panthers by 4.5, 5, maybe even 6. Nope. Panthers only by 3. So the odds makers are really buying the Philadelphia Eagles in ways I'm not buying. I'm sorry. But the odds makers give, you get 3 for home field. So they're basically saying this is kind of a 50-50 game, right?
Yep.
And yet, we just watched Cam Newton go win at Tom Brady and at Matt Stafford. No easy task.
Nope.
And in those 2 games, he had high QBRs, 87 and 88. So he played 2 what I would consider MVP caliber games against those 2 very good quarterbacks, one all-time great quarterback, on the road. And it looked to me like Carolina found itself on both offense and on defense. And what sticks in my craw, what I will not sweep under my carpet about the Philadelphia Eagles is I watched the whole game in the 4th quarter against the New York Giants at home. They gave up 24 points to Eli and company, 24. And it took a 61-yard field goal by a rookie kicker named Jake Elliott, who, by the way, got drafted in the 5th round by Cincinnati and cut by Cincinnati before the season started. But it took Jake Elliott's 61-yarder to save him in that game. And just for perspective, the Eagles won their opener at Washington thanks to an awful call on Kirk Cousins, which then prompted the Eagles to give Doug Peterson, their coach, a Gatorade bath after opening day victory. I've never seen that before. So they're already in victory mode, like parade mode, right?
The second one coming in a couple of weeks.
No, is it? Okay, here we go. So the Eagles predictably lost at Kansas City. I thought they hung in, played pretty well, but then they have beaten now the Giants, the Chargers, and the Cardinals, a combined 3-12. I'm not that impressed, and I'm definitely not that sold. And every time I hear about Carson Wentz, he is the next thing. He has arrived. He is better than Dak Prescott right now and will always be better than Dak Prescott, or so I keep getting told. And every time I hear that, I just wince. That's what I do. And in the end, Cam Newton, big stage, bright lights, big city, he plays really well when the lights are really bright. He's won 4 of his last 5 big night games on national TV. So I like Carolina a lot in this game, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Eagles will prove me wrong, but I am shocked by this early point spread.
Well, I think I do agree with you, but I know why you want Carolina to win. So that'll help your Cowboys.
You could be right about that.
I know I'm right about that. I do agree with you. I think that they had 2 impressive wins on the road, beating the New England Patriots at New England. No matter what we say, they're still the Patriots.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Beating the Lions, a tough Lions team to beat at home. They're tough. I mean, they could be 4-1. I think that was a bad call.
It was a bad call.
Thank
you.
On that.
Correct.
I think they have a lot of weapons. They have Christian McCaffrey. They found a tight end with Greg Olsen being out, Ed Dixon, which helps.
They?
Yep, Kelvin Benjamin. I think they have a lot of weapons. I do like them at home. Cam is playing like he did back in 2015. Right. It's only 2 games, but you know what? You have to start somewhere.
Right.
You have to start somewhere. The Eagles, on the other hand, Carson Wentz he's playing very well, But one thing I don't like about this football team is that they throw the ball too much. And they asked him to throw the ball 40 to 50 times a game. Like Garrett Blunt he had a good game, a good game, but I'm just not sold on their running game. Are they a true running football team? I think there's a true passing football team. I think it'll catch up to them.
I am surprised that it's only 3 points, but I think the odds makers factored in, Skip. They beat Buffalo 9-6, and they lost by 21 to New Orleans at home. 3 of their wins have come on the road.
By the way, is it possible New Orleans is way better than you think New Orleans is?
Nah, not defensively. I know offensively they're going to be able to score because you got Drew Brees.
Well, they did go to to London and shut out Miami, right? 20-0.
Did you see Jay Cutler's performance on Sunday?
Did you say Miami?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing. The Panthers are third in total D. They're third in sacks. Lane Johnson went out the second half of the game in concussion protocol. There's a very good chance he doesn't play on Thursday. Now, this is what we know about Carson Wentz when Lane Johnson doesn't play. His hits go up, his sacks go up, his interceptions go up, points come down, so does his completion percentage. That's not a good combination. I agree with you, Skip. I was thinking that when this game came out, it's going to be 4.5, 5-point favorite. But then when I looked at it, it says, okay, Carolina really hasn't been that good at home. But then I look at Lane Johnson might be out and how good Carolina's defense is. This on a short week, this is a recipe for disaster. I can see Carolina winning by 7. Carolina, this might go a long way, Skip, because this might come out playoff. Okay, you go record, and then you go head-to-head. So you want to try to stack up as many wins as you possibly can in the NFC because when it's all said and done, if we have a divisional game or NFC championship game, I'd rather for you to come to my building than I have to go to yours. Because you know that old guy up in old Lambeau, you know, it get real cold in January, and he's trying to get people to come up there and see him. He ain't got to worry about him going back to Jerry's world, although he do love Jerry.
What's that guy's name?
Woo!
Yeah, and what happened the last time we went up there?
Oh,
in
the cold, you took the L. You remember in 2014?
Well, it was pretty cold up there last October.
No, it was not. It was raining a little bit.
Wait, it was 30-16 Dallas over Aaron Rodgers, the greatest thrower of the football ever.
The last time you guys
and
played,
he stunk it up.
Hey, what have you done for me lately? That's how it was.
All I said was the last time the Cowboys had to go to Lambeau in January. Can you tell the people, our astute fans at home,
yes,
what happened?
This happened because it was a catch and they got robbed. They should have won the game.
But you see,
you know what?
Tony Romo should have won the game.
That was a catch. I gotta say, that was a catch. But they lost.
Yeah,
it's a loss.
But you see what Skip did. He always was like when Philly. He was like, well, look who they beat. They beat a team that wasn't very good. The Cowboys beat the 0-5 Giants and a 1-3, 2-3
The
Arizona.
Giants weren't 0-5 when they beat them. I think they just left the Giants for dead. They crushed them so badly, it just crushed their confidence.
And y'all turn around and lose by 17 the next week.
It was worse than that, it felt like. By 17.
Yeah.
I mean, they scored 7.
Well, no, 42 25.
Yeah.
And then you
Don't
lost.
shortchange your Broncos.
And then you lost again. Did you just lose Sunday?
Barely. Love the way we played. But think about this.
That's like being a little bit dead, a little bit pregnant.
So
you either are or you're not.
Wait a second. The Eagles are about to be 4-2. Then Cowboys go win at San Francisco. Sure, that's going to happen. So that's 3-3. Oh, wait. 4-2 to 3-3. That's only a game back.
Hold on. Oh,
good to go.
So now
you getting
scared?
scared?
So now you got the cart in front of the horse. You hear that, San Francisco? Skip Bayless said the Cowboys.
I said it. I'm standing by it.
Cal, dial that thing with you know you whip it on up for him, Cal.
Unless, of course, Dak and Zeke and Dez decide to kneel for the anthem, then we got problems.
Or the commissioner call Zeke.
Yeah.
I need you to come to my office.
And do what?
I got to go and give you the 6 games.
I got to go and
give you the 6 games.
I'd be okay with that.
No, you wouldn't.
Alfred Morris.
Come on.
He can
Skip.
carry that load.
No.
This is what we've seen. When Zeke was dominant like he were last year, at this point they were 4-1. Zeke hasn't been as dominant. Dak has been unbelievable. They're 2-3. Now, if you want to get back to where your winning ways, you better let old Zeke. Zeke need to.
He was doing that.
Get some soup. You know, you eat soup with the spoon going away because you don't want to splash or enjoy. Zeke need to be getting a soup spoon like.
Yeah.
Because he eating rice and gravy and pork chop. You know, I say pork chop. Skip, I'm saying.
I just need Sean Lee back and I'm good. Then I'm good to go.
Are we talking about the Cowboys or the Panthers?
Are
we talking about
It's always about the Cowboys.
This topic is about the Cowboys.
It's about the Cowboys.
He want Carolina to win. He doesn't like Carolina.
I know he does.
He just want Carolina to beat Philly so he can stay in looking distance of the taillights of the Eagles. That's what he's hoping for.
Now, what happens if they lose?
Who?
Carolina.
Carolina loses. And then the Cowboys lose.
It's a long year, man.
So you're right.
They'll track them down.
I like that.
They get to play them twice.
Skip is loyal. I like the
loyalty. They get to play Washington twice. They get to play the Giants.
Oh, first cousin's dealing.
Yeah.
First cousin, he saw that Matthew Stafford. Yeah. He been dealing, Skip.
Yeah, he's been dealing against us. He's 1-4 against Dallas.
He about to be 3-4. 2 wins this year.
Okay. Well, you better be right because you picked the Giants to win the division. Now you've recalculated.
And I also picked the Cowboys not to make the playoffs.
You did?
Make sure you put that in there too now, don't you?
So help me out. If you win the division at 9-7, do you get in the playoffs?
Yes, you do.
But you're not going to win the division. You're not. Okay, here, let me see. The Cowboys are not winning the division.
Yes,
the
they are.
Cowboys are not going to the playoffs. Okay, are we clear on that?
No, we're not clear. I told you.
So who's
from
going to
the
win the
start.
division?
I got the Eagles.
Eagles?
You got the Eagles. So you're rooting for the Eagles on Thursday night against Cam Newton?
No,
Yes.
I root for the Eagles against your team.
I can say.
Just like you root against everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's team. I mean, your team losing, you like misery loves company. Well, I want the Broncos to lose.
So closet Cowboy fan Eric Dickerson.
No, don't put that on me. I'm not no closet Cowboy fan.
Yeah, he is.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
he
No,
is.
I'm not. I thought the Cowboys are better than they are. You know,
You thought that?
Who said that? They are who they thought they are who we thought they are or were.
By the way, did you hear the latest Cowboy news?
What happened?
Nolan Carroll out.
Out for what?
They cut him. They just cut him. Their big free agent signee, he's gone.
Hold on.
Wow.
So is Jerry admitting he's made a mistake?
I guess so, because he was the quote-unquote marquee signing, the only name. He started every game for the Eagles the last 2 years, started 56 games for the Eagles in his career, and he's
Cut.
cut.
That's football.
He was in concussion protocol, I thought. That's why I thought he didn't play on
Right.
Sunday. But we are about to have Antonio Cromartie visit our desk here, and I've been pushing for them to sign Antonio Cromartie. I would
the
love to
rookie.
see that.
I'm telling you, Skip, unless you have special rookies like a Rivas, like a Charles Woodson, or Deion Sanders. Now, I don't see any of those guys currently on the Cowboy roster. When you're a cornerback and you're a rookie and you're not elite talent like that, oh, you get lit up. You get lit
Well, I
up.
told you, they love Jordan Lewis, third-round pick.
Oh,
out of
Aaron
Michigan.
Rodgers loved him too.
Well, I told you he's 5 feet 10 inches
Well,
tall.
he ain't
might go
growing.
180.
He's not growing.
And Devontae Adams goes 6'2", 220.
Edie,
That's what they had a vertical jump in the combat.
Edie,
Vertical jump. That's how
Edie.
you can jump.
how many inches did you grow once you got to the NFL?
0.
Okay, so Jordan Lewis is going to be 5'10" here for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Well, he competed on the first throw. Knocked it into the third row. didn't he?
And what happened?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers said, oh, you thought you did something.
Yeah, he did.
Skip, they had to tell.
I need Cromartie.
He didn't even know.
I need Cromartie.
He didn't even know the dude. He gave up a touchdown. He came to the sideline, his head down, and like, what happened? You gave him the game winner. He's like, I did. Aaron Rodgers walked it to him. You ever seen a 7-yard handoff, Skip? I've never seen one.
Candy from a baby. That's
No.
what it was.
You just take it from him. You don't let him have all the candy. You let him, he knocked it down. That's one lick.
Take it back. No mercy. We're joined now by Joel Klatt. Joel, let's talk some college football. Westgate has listed Alabama as a big favorite to win the national title, with defending champ Clemson coming in with the second best odds. The Crimson Tide are a perfect 6-0 and have beaten teams by an average of nearly 33 points a game. Joel, should Bama be the overwhelming favorite?
You know, they should probably be the favorite. I don't know about overwhelming. And this is, you know, the way Vegas behaves as it relates to college football is a little different than professional sports because of the emotional ties that we all have to our college teams, because it promotes irrational betting, right, and irrational money. So they have to play into that a little bit with some of those odds. So I understand why the odds are set where they're at, but there are several great football teams out there, and I don't know if Alabama is even going to have the cleanest road to the playoff as, let's say, Washington and Clemson. Because if you look at the Pac-12 and the ACC, I don't think they're going to be nearly as tough for those two teams, the Huskies and the Tigers, to get through than what the Tide is going to have to deal with in the SEC. Not that the SEC is a great conference right now, because it's not. But Shannon, at the top end, they're going to have to face Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Auburn's a really good team right now that's getting better every single week, in particular at the quarterback position. And then Georgia, all of a sudden, which, guys, Georgia's like really good. I mean, you talk about the Dogs playing defense. They're playing really well on offense. They've scored 40 points 3 times this year. They didn't do that once a year ago. Kirby Smart has that defense playing maybe better than any in the country, even when you take into consideration Alabama or Clemson. So the Tide's going to have some serious work just to get to the playoff, much less win a national championship
Wait, are
this year.
you already making excuses for Ain't Nick?
No, I'm just laying out facts. I'm just laying out the road ahead.
Just want to
That's just all I'm doing.
You know, I know, Joel, we were going to talk about who's the best coach in college football until some team went somewhere and they lost 14-10, but obviously, so he's not in the running anymore. Oh, I thought Jim Harbaugh was the best coach in college.
Oh, yeah.
Sack, he
is.
keep that thing. He keep a stinker down there. I agree. I don't think they should be overwhelming favorites. Clemson is to be reckoned with.
Sure.
They can play defense. And he's one of the few teams that have the type of defense and the athletes on that side of the football that can challenge Alabama. Ohio State also has that level of talent on the defensive side of football. I just don't trust J.T. Barrett. So I've been out on him for a long, long time. Kelly Bryant is doing a great job replacing Deshaun Watson. He doesn't have a whole lot of passing touchdowns, but he has a lot of running touchdowns. And when you play defense like they play, kind of like what Alabama has won a lot of national championships, no first-round draft picks at the quarterback position. We're going to run the football, and we're going to play outstanding defense. They're going to be tough out. But I think Georgia goes to Alabama this time, right?
Well, that would be an SEC championship game, which would essentially be Georgia's backyard in Atlanta.
No, first of all, we got two homes. We play in Tuscaloosa, and we play in the Georgia Dome, well, Mercedes-Benz Dome.
How did you get to be a we? How do you just sign up for being a we?
Whoa.
You just jump on the bandwagon?
Look.
It's just like there's no shame in it? Or
we have two homes. Yeah. We play in Tuscaloosa, and we play in the Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Yeah.
When
First,
we go to Atlanta.
if you want to jump on Georgia's bandwagon, I'm good with it. At least you grew up in the state of Georgia.
No.
I would give you that.
They rescinded.
Oh, they did not?
Yeah.
Did they offer?
Well, I was Prop 48, Skip. And see, that was the time that they blew the whistle. It was Georgia that got everybody else in trouble with the Prop 48. So they turned their back on old Shea.
Did they really?
Yeah.
So you're out.
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out.
This goes back a while. This goes back a long time.
30.
You want to date it?
Yeah, don't date it. Don't date it. It goes back a while.
But Skip, you know Coach Saban what he does. Now, he said, the media, y'all been trying to feed my players rat poison by patting them on their back and telling them how good it is.
Called it rat poison.
Yeah, we're not going to eat it, though. And then Lane Kiffin trying to troll, said that he's favored to win his conference. But, Skip, you know what Bama does.
Yeah.
This is what we know about Coach Saban. He's never going to be a 31-point favorite and lose at home. Now, we do know that.
And to your point, and Joel brought this up, emotional overreaction in Vegas. So Iowa State was a 31-point dog going to Norman, Oklahoma, and scored 38 points and won the game?
It was down 24-10.
How did that happen?
I tell you, Sooners don't play any defense.
They don't play any defense.
All of a sudden, they don't play any defense
Wait a second.
anymore.
Who's the defensive coordinator? Oh, another Stoops.
Here we go with the Stoops.
So we got rid of Bob, but we didn't get rid of Mike.
So you want every
so
Stoops.
the Stoops.
If your last name
we got
Stoops,
Stoops.
We
got Stooped again. I like both of them, but you know what? Maybe it's time to move on.
Stop
from
it.
the Stoops era. Well, maybe it is because you got to say his defense has been.
Okay, I feel like you're changing the subject.
Okay,
what
back to
did
Alabama.
do wrong?
Speaking of bad defense.
Oh my goodness! Here we go.
First of all, I have to compliment a young man that you guys were very hard on at the end of the year because he made you look bad with your predictions in the national championship game. But Jalen Hurts has played some big-time football this year. Yeah. You guys were both thinking he was sort of he sort of dragged them down at the end of the year.
He did.
Right?
He was their biggest liability last year.
So 7 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, and he is leading the Crimson Tide in rushing. That's And is he not a sweet runner with the football? Is he not as natural and poised and looks nonchalant almost until you say, uh-oh, he's loose. Yeah. How did he do that?
He had 4 of those touchdowns against Vanderbilt.
He did, 59-0. You got me on that. But we beat K-State.
Well,
now you're going with the wheeze.
Well, I went there. I went to Alabama
once.
You did not go.
I went to the state of Alabama. I didn't go to Alabama.
So,
did you know that you gave up 423 yards rushing to Georgia last week?
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Speaking of playing no defense.
You gave up 500 a week before to Alabama. Yeah. I mean, do y'all play any?
Derek Mason could coach defense, but maybe I'm wrong. So
you out on
back
everybody.
to the question at hand. Speaking of defense, so I watched the whole game last week of Alabama at Texas A&M, and I thought it had sort of 59-0 potential. I didn't know. I thought they might do a Vanderbilt on A&M at College Station, and it was a game.
Yeah.
It was a game into the early fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, A&M's driving to make it 24-17, and Minkah Fitzpatrick made a terrific goal line interception. He also recovered a late onside kick. He played all-American big-time football, and it looks like he's going to be a very high draft choice, and he might be one Alabama cornerback who actually lives up to his draft ranking.
Yeah,
I like him a lot as a player.
See, Alabama got gears. I mean, certain teams you got first gear, second, third gear. But see, Alabama got a gear that very few teams can get to. They got old 6-speed. You know about it. You're better 6-speed, right?
7.
Well, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So
I don't use it, but I don't.
Yeah,
ever
because
get
you
the
don't know what
7th
you're
gear.
doing.
Not on Avenue of the Stars at 345.
Oh, you hear that, Joy?
Big play, Shea. He's cooking along
Don't
at
be
like
mad 'cause I can drive
34
better
miles
than
an
you.
hour.
No, Joy is driving like 72.
I got places to be.
Alabama.
That's all?
Alabama. Clemson, again, round 3.
Were you impressed with what they
thing,
did
though.
at A&M?
One quick thing about Alabama that just as a word of caution on Alabama is when you look at Bama, Auburn, and Georgia, they've played 9 conference games, and that 27-19 win against Texas A&M, that was the only one of those 9 games that any of those teams won by less than 3 touchdowns. So,
Well, the
of
SEC
chinks in the armor,
Okay,
Georgia and Auburn are not showing any
Okay,
of those
but
right
the
now.
SEC ain't what it used to be. It's not that deep because I look at what's coming up for Bama, and they got Arkansas and Tennessee and LSU at home. They're going to win those games easily.
I think the thing is, Skip, they're still, if you look at them on average, they still produce a high number of draft picks going to the NFL. I don't believe the coaching in the SEC is what it used to be.
Yeah.
They still get the level of talent. I mean, look at LSU. Beckham and Landry and Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu.
I'm not sure those guys are there this year. I'm not sure.
It's a young team for LSU. I know on an opening day of this year's NFL season, there was more LSU alum in the NFL than any other school in college football. I would piggyback on what you should. The coaching in the SEC right now is really bad.
Yeah.
Outside of Nick Saban, maybe Gus Malzahn, Kirby Smart.
is rising. But the rest of them, I mean, Florida still gets top athletes, Skip. They still do.
They do.
Georgia just signed the #1 quarterback after they got the #1 quarterback for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
They got Eason and Froome. And now you go out and sign the #1 quarterback again. Alabama keeps getting the #1 running back year after year after year. So the talent is still coming in. It's just that level of coaching. I mean, if you want to go to the listen, if you want to win an SEC title, you want to play for a national title, and you want to go play on Sundays, that's the guy you can call.
Go to Vanderbilt? Hey, we got a whole bunch of players. Every time I look up, somebody from Vanderbilt starting in the NFL. Zach Cunningham.
If you want to be on TV getting beat
said
down
Zach-
by
he
Shannon
said
Sharpe,
Zach Cunningham.
go to Vanderbilt.
Oh, really?
You could be just like Skip Bayless, get beat up every day, 5 days a week, 2.5 hours a day.
Delusional,
No.
but it's okay. Still love you.
Joy, you know what? Where'd you go?
I went to Barry University.
Buccaneers.
My daughter goes to Barry.
In Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, good for her.
What?
Yeah, she's in
She goes there now? She
biomedical
goes to Joy
science.
School, and you
Yeah, how
never
do you
even
not tell me
connected
that?
on that?
Well,
Are you just making this up?
no.
I don't know. I
She's-
never know.
She's getting a master's in biomedical science. You want
She
to be a doctor.
is?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to pull some strings because you want to go to Vanderbilt med school.
Oh, now you
better
want me to
stop
pull
trashing Vanderbilt, then.
after you rip my school, you want me to pull strings.
How
on
do
my
you
school.
pull some strings, Skip? Because I ain't got no money. Nicole just got all my money.
Oh,
I emptied my bank account for Nicole.
Joel, thanks for joining us.
my piggy bank.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.